Hey guys! So I'm back, and today I wanted to make some of those Christmas balls that I was talking about a few weeks ago. So for Halloween I made a little pumpkin ball, and I wanted to make ornament one since we're heading into December. So let's get going. I already punched everything out. So I used my 2.5 inch circle punch. I'm gonna make two, and I used my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I cut out two white cardstock bases for each. These are just scrap paper, so I'm gonna make sure that you have at least one blank side to go on the back. And I cut out, what was it, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 of each. And I know the 8 will work on the bigger guy. I don't know what it's going to do to the little guy, so we'll have to see how that goes. And the paper I used my absolute favorite from last year, Aspen Frost from Basic Gray. It was my favorite, so much so that I refused to use it. And as we know, this year my whole thing is using my papers. So God, this is such a cute collection. I love that little chipboard piece right there. I'm gonna have, you know what? I'm gonna have to do an art journal page using this, and then I'll be happy because I'll keep it in my little book, and then I'll be okay. And so the paper that I used out of that was Satin Sashes by Aspen Frost, and it's just your basic red on one side, stripe on the other. Most Christmas collections have something very similar to this. I just used it because I wanted to, in this sort of thing, you don't actually really see the paper after the thing's made, so I just wanted to use an old collection for that. And now what we're going to do is score our little circles. So I'm going to use my Martha scoring board and get going on that. I really have to bring my smaller one home, and I'm just using a stylus. Because we're using scrapbook paper instead of cardstock for the whole thing, I just want to remind you to be careful when you're scoring because it can punch through pretty easily. So that's why I use a ball stylus, and that's why I use the bigger one. So I'm going to fast forward through all my scoring. Okay, after you get them all scored, now it's time to reinforce the score line with your bone folder. Okay, now after all that's done, let's attach our bases. I'm leaving the back of my bases white. If you are going to use this just on their own, go ahead and put whatever paper you want on the back to keep up the decoration. Sometimes I keep it white just so I can make sure I have a good space to write a note, if that's going to be my gift card on a present. These, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them on a card. I might do it next week, so as an embellishment, so we'll have to see what happens. So what I want to do right now is I want to sponge the edges, and I don't want it to be too dark because it's a Christmas thing, so I'm just going to use frayed burlap. But just to get, that white cut line off the edges. Alright, inking the edges is complete, and they are dry a little bit, so let's get to gluing. I decided that I wanted the big ball to be striped on the outside, and that's why I folded the stripe inward, because when we glue it down, glue it like this, and this is what you see. So let me get to doing that. just take half of it, glue down half of it to your base so that that can open on the inside, and then you glue the next guy down to this one. And you repeat, repeat, repeat until you're all out of half circles. Make sure that you line up the spines. That's the most important thing. Anything else you can trim, but you need to have your spines all aligned. Okay, now double check that this is all good, that it falls where you want it to fall, that none of them are completely glued together. Wipe off the glue on the edges. Okay, that's good. So let that one settle, and then we're going to go ahead and glue down the rest of this one. Now, the thing is because these spines are so thick, this is not going to lie completely right on the edge of the circle. Okay, so we're gonna have to trim that off anyway. So when you glue this down, just let it lay where it wants to lay. The folds, if you did the folds right and you use your bone folder, this always comes out pretty good. So there we go, and we'll trim that off later, so it's not a big deal. And just fluff it, kind of inspect it to see if there's any places that you need to ink the edges. There, that looks pretty good. All right, do the same thing to this guy. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the spine itself just to hold it all together and to glue it down to the paper as well. It really helps if you're using this quick dry glue doing this, because these can all lift up on you pretty easily if you're using another type of glue that takes a little while. So, you know, you can use hot glue too, because it's a quick one. All right. And one last thing is I just want to make a little ornament ball stem right here, just a little square, poke it up, just to give it that ornament look. I'm just using a scrap piece of paper. I'm using brown because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to want it to be in the end. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to cover it with stickles or liquid pearls or something like that, you know, because they're usually metal. So I'm just doing it in sort of darker color just to give it a nice base for that. And I just made it, I eyeballed it. So I just made a little strip of it, and the strip is 1/2 inch. And then I'm rounding the tops of the corners. I think this is Bow Bunny paper, but you really, just any scrap that you have will be fine. And I'm just gluing it on the back. And I think I've decided that I'm going to come back and make a card or a gift tag out of these in like another week or so. So if you want to use them right now, just go ahead, and I did this so I can punch a hole right here and do my string out the top of them if I wanted to do that. If the back bothers you, just cut out another circle and just glue it right on there. And you know, you can also just use this as your basic gift tag too, on the front of a card. So let me just do a little ornament topper on this one too. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!